Hello, merhaba. This is Özgür Yaşar. I'm working for Faculty of Sport Sciences of Hacettepe University, and I'm making this presentation as part of Global Forum for Physical Education Pedagogy, which will take place in Ankara in May 2016. I'm particularly excited because of being in the Future Leader program and also being a member of the local host committee. And I'm looking forward to see all the invited delegates and my teammates in the Future Leader program here in Ankara. Hope you enjoy my presentation. See you soon. My presentation is about our ongoing research on negotiation styles measurement of candidate sport coaches with online self-assessment tool. My advisor for the research is Professor Dr. Gıyasettin Demirhan. Presentation plan is as it is seen here. First, I would like to start sharing three pillars that our research is based on: theory, practice, and technology. Then I will continue with details of research design and analysis of data we have collected so far as part of pilot testing. Our study doesn't only have theoretical basis, but also has strong connection with practice and use of technology. First of all, theoretically, we accept findings which highlight not only importance of sport-specific professional knowledge, but also interpersonal knowledge development of sport coaches. Among those interpersonal knowledge, we have particular focus on negotiation. Secondly, we give example from practice about use of negotiation in sport coaching and seek to provide scientific validation, results, and publish experiences of candidate sport coaches using Enact assessment tool. Finally, we introduce a game-based innovative technological tool called Enact, which proposes a measurement environment for negotiation styles by using simulated scenarios. Our study takes inspiration from integrative definition of coaching expertise by Cote and Gilbert. According to them, integrative definition of coaching is the consistent application of integrated professional, interpersonal, and interpersonal knowledge to improve athletes' competence, confidence, connection, and character in specific coaching contexts. According to Collinson's comprehensive way of describing the forms of knowledge involved in teaching is composed of professional, interpersonal, and intrapersonal dimensions. First form of knowledge is professional knowledge, which includes technical, tactical, mental, pedagogical, training, nutrition knowledge that accurately defines large body of specialized knowledge required to coach. However, it has become apparent that professional knowledge alone is insufficient to become an effective coach. As Cote and Gilbert mentioned, coaches, like teachers, do not work in isolation. Their effectiveness depends on individual and group interactions. Second form of knowledge is interpersonal knowledge, which involves individual and group interactions with children, adolescents, and adults. It's essential for successful coaches to interact regularly with their athletes, assistant coaches, parents, and other professionals. Third form of knowledge is the intrapersonal knowledge, which refers to the understanding of oneself and the ability for introspection and reflection. Gilbert and Trudel developed a model of experiential learning based on coach reflection and highlighted the requirement of intrapersonal knowledge in any definition of coaching expertise. In our study, we particularly focus on interpersonal knowledge, but because of the nature of the tool called Enact, which aims to give feedback to the user according to his/her choices, our study is also related with intrapersonal knowledge. Johnson defines negotiation as when faced with a conflict of interest, a common form of conflict resolution is negotiation. Insights from economics, psychology, political science, sociology, organizational behavior, and not least computer science would all contribute to what could be called a negotiation science for 21st century. When it comes to sport, findings in applied sports psychology has particular focus on intergroup, and coach-athlete relationships. Since the common criteria is to defeat one's opponent in sport, naturally this leads to competition and occasionally highly overt intergroup conflict between the competing parties. Although team members share common goals, individuals frequently compete with one another for personal recognition within the team. Football is a highly popular sport which is always underlined by a series of conflicts. These conflicts are caused by mismanagement, disorganization, or misdirection of a game. Some of such conflicts are also caused by the misbehavior of the players, who often ignore the rules of the game and provide the ground for the conflicts. There are plenty of training courses which aim at improving negotiation skills of individuals. I have been recently get in touch with one of the company called Athlete Assessment that offers negotiation skills in sport intensive program and take permission to share the details of their program. Person behind the training program is Bo Hansen, who facilitates this program. The program is delivered through the company called Athlete Assessments. Usually, clients engage them to run it for their coaches and staffs. This can be professional teams, high school teams, and clubs. It is usually run as one-day program from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. The full-day program covers three key modules. First, the foundations to successful negotiations. Second, understanding negotiation styles. Third, negotiations in practice. Training program is available within Australia, typically Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. The technological part of our research involves Enact online assessment tool, which was developed as part of Enact project aimed at developing an innovative tool which helps individuals to improve negotiation skills. Being based on psychologic model and computer science, projects have two important phases. First phase involves assessment of negotiation styles throughout assessment scenarios. Second phase involves tutoring for negotiation skills training with support of artificial agents and tutoring systems. Our research is limited with the first phase of project due to need for testing validity and reliability of assessment part first and exploring experiences of users. Enact assessment tool consists of a series of communicative exchanges between the user and an avatar within 5 conflict scenarios, which are created by the team of psychologists. Here, there is an example of how one of the scenario looks like. Each scenario is played only once. Scenarios are relatively short, includes 6 exchanges. The story and the context change from one scenario to another. Information about the role of the user is given in advance. The intent of this concurrent mixed methods study is to examine negotiation styles of candidates sport coaches by using Enact negotiation style online assessment tool. In this study, concurrent embedded mixed method is adopted. By doing so, we collect both qualitative and quantitative data at the same time and then integrate the information in the interpretation of the overall results. As Creswell mentioned, concurrent mixed method procedures are those in which the researcher converges or merges quantitative and qualitative data in order to provide a comprehensive analysis of the research problem. For quantitative data collection, we use two instruments, which are Rahim Organizational Conflict Inventory 2 and Enact Online Negotiation Assessment Tool. For qualitative data collection, we use open-ended questions for interviews and note-taking during observations. The Rahim Organizational Conflict Inventory 2 measures the 5 conflict management styles. It consists of 28 statements on a 5-point Likert scale measuring 5 independent dimensions of the size of handling interpersonal conflict. Enact assessment tool is directly inspired by the model used by Rahim to develop his test on conflict resolution style. Enact assessment tool consists of a series of communicative integrations between the user and the avatar within 5 conflict scenarios. Since Enact assessment tool has been designed to measure negotiation style, the simpler and effective way to verify whether it is able to measure such a construct or not consists in calculating the correlation between Enact and Rahim's test scores. The extent of the correlation, concurrent validity in this case, will indicate how Enact intercepts the psychological construct measured by the Rahim's test. 130 participants were drawn from 5 target populations of partner organizations involved in pilot testing. Analysis of reliability by means of Cronbach alpha and correlation between Enact and Roji styles were carried out. Cronbach's alpha correlation with Roji and relative p-value computed across scenarios is shown here. Values in yellow are not statistically significant. By removing items in order to optimize both correlation between styles measured with Roji and Enact and the Cronbach's alpha, we obtained this table. Values in yellow are not statistically significant. Only Enact integrating, dominating, and obliging styles significant correlate with their Roji counterparts. Problems related to measuring avoiding compromising styles can be due to the fact that they present noticeable correlations with obliging and integrating styles respectively. Correlations are significant but not very high. In order to understand experiences of users in detail, we will also conduct interviews and make observations. Field testing will involve also qualitative data collection and as well as more participants for quantitative data only from candidate sport coaches. Data collection of field testing is an ongoing process. Our research presents first steps taken to validate Enact assessment tool against a validated scale developed by Rahim. Enact able to create interactive environment rather than simply asking users to remember their past experiences like in pen and paper psychologic tests. The latter solution presents two main advantages. First, it has potential to allow testing users to get more accurate measures because test takers are requested to act, not to remember, and also being a game, Enact represents a more engaging assessment environment. We see a quick shift from formal education to non-formal education and learning. Therefore, learner-centered personalized learning materials are becoming more popular and demanded. Enact has potential to answer this need because of offering innovative form of training by allowing users to get feedback about themselves. However, more data and different analysis should be conducted in order to obtain concrete validation and reliable results. Before finishing my words, I would like to leave a message which also motivates me to make research on negotiation, which is there is no room for isolationism in a world where even the air we breathe is affected by the choices of people thousands of miles away. Thank you for your attention.